All right, guys, should be live. G'day, guys. Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to discuss Doctor SEO. So we're going to cover and do the ultimate guide of SEO services for doctors. So let's jump into it. So let me get rid of this bad boy. Let's move this down here. I will try and keep an eye on that out the corner of my eye. Let me just try and set this up so we can keep an eye on that. All right, so let's begin. So if you're looking to do SEO for doctors, you're going to need something like this checklist right here, because if you're doing any type of SEO, you need to keep track of it. Any type of SEO services for doctors, you're going to have a lot of data. You're going to have a lot of records to back everything up. You need to analyze your competitors, and that's what I'm going to walk you through today. So this is the SEO checklist for doctors. There's a link to this down below. It's completely free and you will have everything that I walk through today. So I'll show you how I use this checklist in conjunction when I do SEO for a doctor's clinic. So this is basically what you'll use. Now, what we're going to do is first pick out and identify who we're using. Now, Essential Medical Clinic is the company that I've determined that I'll use. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. So as you can see, the pin drops here in Los Angeles, and these guys are kind of close to me. They're not awfully close, but there's a lot of other ones that are actually further away that are ranking quite well and doing quite well, apart from obviously the paid one. So, and it's not really fair to use some of the bigger things like urgent care to utilize them and be like, oh, this is how you can get them to rank. They have a lot more power. I want to show the average local clinic. So the small local doctor type stuff, because that's what I specialize in, local SEO. So ultimately, that's what we're going to focus on today. So first things first, let's start by starting at the doctor's checklist. What do we need to do? Well, we need to review the keyword performance and do a quick overview of the domain. So let's do that. First things first, we want to grab our domain, make sure that we have the name. Now, depending upon, like, it'll be your business, or you could be utilizing a client's business. You're trying to offer a free audit, depending upon what you're doing. This is where you'll need to know the name for sure. A great way to ensure that you have the right name is down in the footer with the copyright, with the actual address. It may be stated down there. That's just in case you don't know the name. So we know what the name is. It's Essential Medical. Let's grab that. Now you're going to need some premium tools for this. This is just how it is. If you're playing Doctor SEO, you need the serious stuff. So we're going to have a look at the domain and we're going to ascertain how powerful it actually is. So let's have a look at that now. All right, so we've got an authority score of 15. Now, FYI, authority score is not something that I sit there and lose any sleep over. You don't need to. Ultimately, with authority score, like everything else, you just want to use that as a bit of a guide. If all of your competitors have an authority score of let's say 60, well, then it's a bit of an indication. But if everyone else has 15, that doesn't really mean anything. It's just a number to use as a guideline. So we want to have a look and see how well we're doing. So we're currently ranking for, in the US, 550 keywords, and we have 1,200 backlinks with 15. So let's document that. So we can paste the domain in here. So we've got that in there for ease. We've got total keywords was 549. Total backlinks was 1,200. Citations, I'll show you how to do citations later. We'll come to that. And 15. So now we have a bit of an overview of our site. So we've checked that out. Okay, this is a bit of an overview. So what we want to do now is we want to grab the keywords that we're currently ranking for and place them into this spreadsheet. So you'll come back over to SEMrush, you go down to the top organic keywords, click on view details. Just have a sip of coffee. All right, so now once we've got this up, we want to export that data. So it's a bit stormy here, guys, so my internet's not performing really well, but so be it. So you can export that data via a CSV and you can essentially paste that into the spreadsheet. So let's do that. And while we're going along, I'm also going to document the times that we're at certain points. So then that way I am able to make it easier for everyone when it comes to later viewing, so they can jump through to the chapters. So, yep, keywords recognize 533. So if you hear me pause for a moment, that's what it is. Now I'm just going to grab the first 100, so it's just little bits of data, so we can export that CSV. And then what you'll need to do on your SEO checklist, on your doctor's SEO checklist, just come back over. Now you're going to see all of these tabs down the bottom here. So the target keyword that we've gone after is Medical Clinic Los Angeles. That's the target keyword that we've got. Now everything I show you today, you'll just extrapolate it. It just goes on and on and on for however many keywords. You might want to have a general practitioner, family doctor, whatever it may be. You would just build it out and just do everything I show you today in every case for every keyword. That's SEO. It's all research, guys. SEO is just research. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to bring this in and bring it across. So let's do it. All right. So I want to get rid of previous positions. Delete that. Okay. And let's grab this. So I just want to grab everything there. Oh, no, it didn't work. There we go. All right. So put that. Where are you? Keyword research. So you can come up here and you can paste that information in here. So like I said, apologies guys, it's just a bit slow today. That's just how it is. So as you can see, and let's beautify this up a little bit, we can start to ascertain where we're ranking for, like what keywords we're winning. So essential medical clinic, saying we're in position 1. Let's say, do I need an appointment for urgent care? We're in position 7 for that keyword. Okay. So these are the types of things that you can ascertain by doing this. Now, it's very important that you collect all of this data together on one spreadsheet. That's why you need this Dr. SEO checklist. So that's the first thing. Now, let's go back over here. Let's check off our checklist. So let's do it. Done. Okay, we've done the first part of it. Now we need to review the doctor's SEO checklist, SEO Google Business Profile. So what I'm going to do right now is note this down, note down the time. Awesome. Let's jump into it. So for auditing the doctor's Google Business Profile, what you'll need to do is come to the tab that says GBP Audit. Very, very important, because a lot of people are going to use maps to find doctors. We often don't go to doctors that are far away unless they've been recommended to us by another doctor and we already have that insight. So if you're trying to find something locally, this is going to be insanely important for you. All right, so let's do it. So let's come back over to the map results here. So that's us. What we want to do is we want to come up to the top and ascertain who's winning for these results. Now, you have this is sponsored. Don't count it. It's a sponsored ad. They've paid to be there. They're not there organically. So come down to the top ranking ones. And as you can see, these guys right here are actually right near our clinic. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting thing to have a look at. So we can have a look here. We can also have another look. Ooh, okay. They've got 2 locations. Okay. That is interesting. All right. So they've got 2 locations. It's a second location that's performing poorly. All right. So they've got 2 locations. It's their second location that's performing poorly. So they're doing not too bad, but this is excellent. All right, well, here you go. This is how you look against yourself. Because if you've got two Google business profiles, you get to map it against one another. So why not? Let's have a look at it. So first thing that I'm going to focus on though is these guys, because if you have a look at this other stuff, like the urgent care, I think it was, they were quite close. Like these ones, you can see the pin drops here. Google will place a massive, massive importance on whatever doctor's closer. That's just something that I found the SERP does for medical practitioners. Perhaps it's because of, they're able to service someone more quickly compared to ratings. So that's something to remember, is Google sometimes will place more of a weight on location compared to reviews and other things. But let's have a look anyway. So first thing, we're going to look at this competitor. We're going to have a look at these guys. Angeles Medical Clinic. So let's do what we need to do. Now, to analyze this stuff, you're going to need two things. So you're going to need Plepper, that's just behind my head right here. And you're also going to need the GMB everywhere. Okay. Two fantastic extensions. Plepper is free. You're allowed to do like 10 free audits, I think, with GMB everywhere. So if you're just doing Dr. SEO for one thing, it's more than enough, guys. And links to that are in the checklist, and I also have them in the video below. So let's begin. First things first, we want to grab the name. So let's grab the name and come back to our checklist, throw that in there. And let's go back. All right. So what we could do is we could analyze, again, our other clinic that is closer to us. Could look at that. So our secondary clinic, our secondary location, could have a look at that. Or we could go and see, oh, they're definitely closer. So they're ranking quite well for this, right? They are doing quite well. They're further away, but they're ranking for this location. The secondary location isn't doing too well. Now, what I would suggest is emulate what your first location is doing. So this is just a little bit of a side note. So some clinics will have two locations like this. And to be completely honest, guys, I missed that they had two locations. I thought that they just had the one single location. But hey, so be it. That's what happens when you go live. So anyway, what I would suggest is two things when you've got multiple locations. Try to find out which location is doing really well and why it's doing well. Because as you can see, they're doing well and they're further away. So when it comes to analysis and what you would want to rely upon is I would use information from that main location that's doing really well, but I'd also look at my competitors too. Because if you think about it like this, Google, for some reason, and I've seen it before, you might have a really powerful website, really powerful stuff here, but what they'll do is they'll then push that towards 1 GBP. So instead of you having equal amount of power spread across multiple, and it's what they're doing to a client right now in the assisted living game that I'm playing. So they've got multiple locations, and unfortunately, Google is passing a lot of juice to the location that we want it passed to the other location. So that's how it works. So that's something to consider whenever you're doing it. However, what we're going to do is we're just going to focus like downtown urgent care, big from memory. They were quite big. One time, I can't remember what it was. I think I did an audit for a doctor or something like that. And this is one of the competitors that we used a while ago. So ultimately, we want to have a look at these guys. Let's use these guys. So, all right, grab that. Come back to the checklist, paste that bad boy in here. Let's shrink this stuff down. I assume you guys should be able to see this stuff too. It looks pretty clear. Let's do 14. Here we go. All right. So let's go back to Angela's Medical Care. Let's do that. Now, the reason I grabbed the names first, guys, is because if I zoom out, zoom in, change things around, back, anything like that, it changes the SERP. So we want to have the most organic results as possible. That's why I grabbed the names first, because mistakes happen. So when it comes to the categories, you can look over in Plepper here. You can see that there's 10 different categories. Now copy them. Come over to this. paste that bad boy in there and go 10. All right, so next thing we're going to want to grab is the image count. So we're going to grab the reviews and the images. So they have 30 reviews with a rating of 3.2 and 10 images. So average rating is 3.2, which is not fantastic. And total images was 10. Okay. All right, so now comes into the nitty gritty part. So total posts, we'll look at that, and post frequency, we'll look at that. But first, let's get to the Q&A, the products, and the services. So let's see if there's any question and answers, which there are. Looks like there's 2 of them. Okay, cool bananas, 2 of them. Done, 2. All right, let's see if there's any products or services listed on here. No. So Google, just FYI guys, Google moved away. I've been making these videos for a while, but they moved away from being able to access everything on here, seeing the services, seeing all of this. So let's have a look. Let's try and send this to my phone. Yep, send to phone, because that's really the only way you can actually have a look at this information. So I have my phone up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at the services, and I'm going to see if there's any products listed. So because unfortunately, Google was a bit naughty and removed all that stuff away from us. And quite interestingly, I can't even see the services right now. That's interesting. So I can't actually see the services listed on the Google Business profile right now. Very interesting. So it looks like Google, watching my video last week, they might have, it was there, now it's not there. So they probably know guys like us going in and checking what your competitors are doing. So that is an integral part to have a look at. But if they've removed it, they've removed it. So there might have to be some cheekier ways to figure that out. So I'll figure that out in the process. But that's how you ultimately look at that. I couldn't see any products listed. Services we're going to have a look into, but that'll be a topic for another video. I might have to make a YouTube video on how to actually figure this out now and go and get that information on the back end of the profile. So we've seen nothing. We've seen that. Now, posts, I saw that there were a couple of posts on there, but they are from 2021. Google normally drops it after 6 months. But what you would want to do, just to double check, is you come over here. So this is the GMB everywhere. This is the plugin that you would want to have a look at. So post audit. So click on that bad boy right there. And what it's going to do is going to start looking at all of your posts, or all of your competitors' posts. All right, an account, log in. There are no posts available to audit. Now, there definitely are. If you look online, you will see on your mobile, you'll see that they're there. But if it's not being picked up, it's not being picked up, so be it. So let's close that bad boy down. Now we've done that. So we've got the numbers there. All right, cool bananas. Let's go back and do our other competitor, Downtown Urgent Care. Now, when it does come to medical clinics, it is slightly different to your plumber. Okay. You know, there are things like dermatologist, family practice physician, those types of things. If the clinic doesn't have it, you can't use the category saying this is what we have, because you don't. So doctor SEO, doing SEO services for doctors is needs to be taken that little bit more seriously than compared to working for a plumber or an electrician or a carpet cleaner or anything like that. It does need to have that next level of attention to detail. So let's go and have a look at these guys now, and let's start grabbing what they have. So that's just something to be aware of though. Do not try, whenever you're doing Doctor SEO services, don't necessarily just copy and paste exactly what your competitors have. You have to look into it deeper. So 9. Let's check out their ratings, reviews, and images. Okay. So reviews 175, rating 4, and image 35. $175 and 35. Okay. And same thing, guys. So I'm going to have to look at the phone, see if there's services. Let's try and ascertain what's going on there. All right. So same thing, boom. Okay, so these guys are showing services. So what I reckon might be happening with the other one is perhaps they've limited their services exposure. So perhaps they've got it where it's not showing anything, which is very strange, very strange. Now they've gone through and definitely optimized each service. So you've got your service and you've got what they're actually talking about. Now, if I scroll through, let's see how many they've got. Only looks about 15, and then about 15 sort of services. So it doesn't appear to be too many. There's about 15 services they've got on there. Again, I'm just doing a quick look, guys, but nonetheless. Okay, 15 services. I cannot see any products, but they're definitely posting. So they posted a couple of hours ago. So this is going to be fantastic to have a look at with the GMB everywhere. So let's go have a look. So again, having a look to see what they're pulling in, because it is important to know. Now, something to note, well, if you're doing SEO for doctors, is to ensure that you emulate what your competitors are doing when it comes to posting. So let's see how these guys are going. Now, you might occasionally get this error message, so with GMB everywhere. So that isn't 3 audit reviews this month till now. Okay, that's interesting. So let's go back in and run it again. So sometimes you need to run it twice whilst leaving that tab open. I know from the previous one, there were no posts since 2021, but with these guys, I can say they put up an update 8 hours ago on the mobile is what I'm seeing anyway. There we go. So as you can see, there's the one that should be picking it up. There was a post. Well, there you go. Doesn't actually look like it wants to work. So what do you do in this situation? The tools failed you. What do you do? This is what happens, guys. Don't ever rely on the tools completely. So when it comes to the updates, what you can do is you can obviously have a look and try and count through. Now, the other thing you want to really gauge is the frequency at which they're posting. So you can basically see they're posting once a week. That's how it looks to me. Now you can go in, you can have a look, you can do it all manually. Like that's why I got the tool, guys. Like it's normally does work, but you can see they're trying to post basically once a week. So what you would do, and it's unfortunate that this tool hasn't worked in this scenario, but that's SEO tools, guys. To sit here and say that there's a one that always works is an absolute lie. Post frequency, like every 7 days. So let's grab this. Let me actually get rid of that. That's going to skew our data. And come back Q&As. Q&As are the only thing missing. So let's have a look to see 7 Q&As. All right. All right. So now you're going to see down here that the competitors' information, first two anyway, have been completed. Now, when you're performing SEO services for doctors, I would strongly suggest that you actually go through and analyze at least 3 competitors, the top 3 competitors. 5 is good, but top 3. So with doctors, it's quite a weird SERP. Like if you're a plumber, you're never going to be ranking anywhere up the top if you don't have reviews, if you haven't been for a while, your website's on point. Doctors can rank on in the top 10 in Google business profiles because of their location. Google takes the medical field really seriously. They know the average Joe can't really go out there and create a doctor profile, and if they do, they can get in a lot of trouble for it. So that's why there's just this additional layer of trust with Google. So have a look at the top 3, see what they're doing in this game. Now we need to analyze ourselves. Now we need to do that. So for that, you're going to need Local Falcon. So let's get out of, it's interesting, Local Falcon partners. Okay, so my referral thing's working, beautiful. All right, so what you can do, and again, like if you click on this, guys, you'll have there'll be a link, there'll be a referral link for this. You can get it if you want, use it if you want, it's up to you, but I do think it's the most reliable system. So Local Vikings, what I use for all of my client stuff, because honestly, this is on the pricier side, but if I'm at the start of a campaign, so I will use Local Viking, but I also like using this bad boy just to ascertain how we're going. So let's get rid of all of these cookies and let's go back. So we'll want to have our target keyword. So we can come back here. So essential medical clinic. Now we're going to want to ensure that we're in the actual at the right spot. So let's go here, medical clinic, Los Angeles, search, business name or address, essential medical clinic. Let's go. And now I might need to grab the address down here. Okay. Let's grab that. It was this. Yes, it was this one. 1114. Yes. 1414. Okay. So yep, here. Now we can do it 2 miles out. Generally, pretty sort of standard for a doctor. 3 miles. Push it out to that. Now the keyword, we want to utilize our target keyword. So let's go back to target keyword. Just grab that. And let's place this in here, Los Angeles. Okay, so target keyword. All right, so that's a keyword that we're going after. So I'm going to run this scan and I'll explain it. So what this scan's doing is saying, let's say someone was north of the clinic up here by a couple of miles, and they were to go up, enter your target keyword, so medical clinic Los Angeles. It's going to show where we would be in relation to the map pack. So not the organic results, but the map pack. So like what we're looking at. Very, very important for a local business, because if you're in that map pack, you're going to do a lot better. So very important for a medical clinic. So while we wait for that, so we're number 1 in our location, makes sense. But as you can see, if we're over here or up here or down here, we're well outside the top, which is not ideal because individuals living in these surrounding areas, we should be able to service. We should be able to entice them in. And if we're ranking quite well, then we can definitely win more work. So as you can see, that's not great. So that's depicting that you're in position 14 in the maps. If someone was to Google that keyword over here, that's how you use Local Falcon. Like I said, you can use Local Falcon. It's not bad. It's good for the initial scans. And the thing I like about it too, unfortunately, with like your Local Vikings and every other tool out there, like your Bright Locals and all of that, you've got to pay a monthly subscription, which is ludicrous. Where if you need to just check once, you can pay like, I think it's like $10 and you get credits. It's fantastic like that. So use it as your guidance. You can put $10 in initially. If you're only going to run scans every now and then for a couple of medical clinics and different keywords, Local Falcon. Also good backup tool because you might have anomalies shown in your other tools that you have, and it does happen. So because none of these tools are accurate, as you've seen before, the tool just stopped working. So let's get rid of that. So we're not doing too well. Just shut that down and try and speed up this internet a little bit. So let's go back to our GBP audits. How's our performance? Poor. It's not great. Yep. Let's do poor there as well. So now we need to do exactly what we did for our competitors. We need to do it for ourselves. So categories and everything else that we've got. Okay, so we've got one category. That's it. Okay, let's grab that. Okay, so you can put that there. What we've only got the one. Average rating, I think, was 3.2, and total reviews. Let's check that out. All right, total reviews, 13 and 5 images. All right, 13. Let's go down to images. 5. Okay. Let's do Q&As. See if there's any of them. No Q&As. Nada. 0. All right. Total post frequency. Let's jump into the products and services first. See if there's anything which might be displayed. No, donuts. Same thing. Let's send it to the phone. So let's check this out, guys. Okay, so I can see their services. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so let's go back over here. 9 and no products. Let me just check if there's an update, or the update a year ago, basically 9 months ago. So 0. Let's have a look. I don't, seeing how this thing didn't pick it up before, I don't think it will. And it was back in June 2022, so it's not really relevant. You want to see how, the main thing is when it comes to this stuff, is you just want to ascertain how frequently your competitors are posting. So because if you notice a clear trend that the top 3, the guys in the top 3 are all posting once a week, well, there you go. That's something that you do need to do. Like I said, when you're doing Dr. SEO, it is slightly different to anything else because, again, it's Google knows. Google knows that doctors' location plays a massive, massive role in ranking. So, yeah, I'm not getting any results here. Let me just close this stuff down, guys, so it's not delaying us anymore. Okay, so posts 0. So now what would I be doing? Well, if I was providing SEO services for a doctor, this is where I'd be taking it. This green line down here, this is the median. It's not the average, it's the median. So smack bang in the middle, which means this is kind of what you need to listen to a bit more than the average. Averages skew your data. I like smack bang in the middle. Now, obviously, the data is definitely skewed. There's 2 competitors in there. Data's skewed. Data is completely skewed. But this is where you can start to figure out what you must have to at least be aligned with the top rankers. So as you can see here, it's saying you need to have 9.5 categories listed. Again, in the medical field, you can't have dermatologists listed if you don't have a dermatologist at your clinic. I understand that. But when it comes to the types of categories you might be able to add something similar and relevant to what you do have in the clinic. So perhaps categories does have a weight in this game. Average rating. So you want to have at least 3.6. What do we have? 3.2. Not good. Total reviews. Again, 30, 175, data skewed. But argument's sake, let's just say the data is accurate. All right, well, we need at least 100 reviews. Okay. What do we have? 13. Total images we need at least 22. How many do we have? 5. So Q&As, 4.5 at least. How many Q&As do we have? Nada, nothing. So all of this is starting to pick up a bit of a trend here. Post frequency, again, that was with one person. Would I emulate that? Yeah, I would because, hey, if I go from where I am to position 3 now, I'm going to have the phone ring a lot more. So that's something that I'd definitely be looking at. Our medical clinic has a lot of work to do, So now that we've completed that, let's jump back into the start of the checklist. So we've done that. Now we want to have a look at the organic results. So let me just jot down this in the timer. Okay, let's throw this 36, 51. So what we're going to do now is identify the top organic rankers for our competitors in the organic space. So not in the map pack, in the actual organic side of things. So we can grab this. Let's create a new page. All right. Now let's see who's now these guys. Let's grab these guys. New tab. Yelps, your directories, that type of stuff, guys. Don't use that. Don't use that because that's just a directory space thing. All right. So we want to have a look at these guys. What you want to do is grab their domains first of all. I'm grabbing all their domains just in case anything were to happen. So you'll see the competitors tab in your Doctor's SEO checklist. Click on that. Now in here, you'll be able to add the domain, the name, and everything of the competitor. Like I talked about before, is their name Sabam Community Clinic? Maybe, but I normally come down to the footer and just double check because that's normally where they'll have the actual name, because someone might be called Joe Blogs, medical clinic. But then when you scroll down, it's Joe Blogs and Co Medical Clinic as an example. So that's why I just double check in the footer. And the name's important because we want to figure out what exactly the name is when we do our citation look later on. So we need to figure out total keywords, total pages that they have, how big's the website, total backlinks, and citations will come later. I'll show you citations later. So let's do it. Let's go back into here. Grab water while this is loading. Not really promising. It's taking that long. All right. So let's go into domain overview. Let's open up a new tab. So keep this open possibly without losing this wonderful connection that we have. All right, throw that in there, search. So same thing as we did at the start. We're reviewing this medical clinic's like power, how strong it is. We can immediately ascertain that 35, it's you know, it's triple what we've got, basically double what we've got realistically. We can look at the keywords. So 35 on the authority score. We've got 6,400 backlinks. We got 3,057 keywords. Drastically different to what we have. 3,057 total pages. I'll show you that in one moment. Now, authority score, you can add that in there if you want, but you don't really need to, because we know, looking at these numbers here, I already know that they're a lot more powerful than us. So total pages, and let me try and beautify this a bit because I don't like it when it's not pretty, to be honest. Not all aligned, it's hard to read the data. Now, the way you'll ascertain how many pages are indexed by Google, not the actual size of the site. You'll need to look at the actual size of the site when you are getting real technical. And I'll show you technical analysis later on. But for now, we just want to see how big the site is. Is it a behemoth? Now, you'll need the SEO Quake plugin for that, or you can do site, semicolon, and throw in the website. You can see that there's 508 results. The plugin said 423 or whatever it was, but that's why I've just been noticing a bit of a disconnect. So I bring the plugin up, then I click on that, and it just takes me 508. So what does that tell me? That tells me that we need to have quite a big site. So that's that one. Now let's get rid of them. So it's not slowing us down. Same here. Exactly the same thing. Now, same thing again too, guys, where I would be using a couple of competitors. So let me just throw this in here before I delete the paste history. So scroll down, grab this and throw this in here. Bang. All right. And same thing, guys, like literally the same thing. This is how tedious you need to be. Boom. And this is why. Okay, these guys are doing really well. Why? They've got 224 backlinks. They're ranking for 243 keywords. Interesting. All of this type of stuff, this would make me feel quite confident because I'm like, wait a minute. My website should be more powerful than this. And technically, if you take it by authority score, it is. So let's go, it's 224 and they're ranking 243 keywords. $243 keywords and 224 backlinks. So a minuscule amount compared to these guys. And that's good. Like, it's not a bad thing seeing that. It's really good. Like, you should feel confident. So it's saying 34 pages index as well. Like, that's tiny. 34, it's right there. Okay, cool bananas. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Try and speed up our stuff here. 34. Okay. So what does analyzing the competitors actually tell me if I was to provide Dr. SEO services? It tells me this. First thing is, I don't need to be a behemoth to rank organically. First thing, look at this guy right here. These guys here, Samaritan, they're ranking for very few keywords, but they're ranking for our target keyword. And they're in position 2 with this many pages, with this many backlinks. That's a wonderful sign. If you're doing any type of SEO and I see this, you know, your heart always sinks when you see the top guy. You're like, but then when you see the second guy and he's like this, ripper, it works out. So that's how you can ascertain that stuff. Very, very important to monitor your competitors. Very important. So let's go back to the SEO checklist and we can be like, yep, okay, no worries. That's been done. Now we need to move on to performing the gap analysis. So let me just jot down the time again. Keyword gap. So we're going to do the Dr. SEO keyword gap analysis. So let's jump into that. Let's jump into that right now. So what you're going to need for the keyword gap analysis is SEMrush again. You also need, so left-hand column, sorry, will be right hand to you, left hand. No, it'll be left hand, sorry. You'll see keyword gap. Now, you'll need to come back over to your spreadsheet, competitors, and you're going to need to grab their domains. So grab their domains. That's our domain should already be populated in there. Let's paste in the first competitor. And let's paste in the second competitor. Now, a keyword gap, and I have more videos going into depth into keyword gap, so go and check them out. But a keyword gap is honestly where you should start all of your SEO campaigns, because you can use your competitors' hard work against them. You can get all of that information that they've sweated over to come up with content ideas and find keywords, and you just scroll in there and say, oh, that's an easy to rank for keyword, yoink, and take it. So that's how SEO works. Now, what we're doing is saying, okay, as an example, Los Angeles Clinic. We're in position 52. These guys are in position 4. They're in position 93. So that's what we're looking at, okay? Walk-in clinic, Los Angeles. So we're in 36, they're in 27, they're in 21. Now, you can export this data. So export, and I'm just not going to export it, guys, because I'm a little bit nervous about the internet, to be completely honest. But you can export the CSV and do exactly what I did with the target keywords. So you'd come over to your checklist, and then the keyword gap tab down here. This is where you would paste in that information. So you'll have all of that information that you can go along and actually look at and be like, okay, I need some content ideas. Great. What are other keywords too that could be driving you money? Because a lot of times SEO people get caught up on things that don't, let's say you rank number 1 and nothing happens. What's the point in creating that content, uploading it, researching it? It's ridiculous. Only go after keywords that have a purpose. So if you create a piece of content, it's either to make you money or support another piece of content that will make you money. So always keep that in mind. Don't just create content for the sake of creating content. Now, the next component is a backlink gap analysis. So let me write this time in there, 09. So we want to do that. We want to grab the backlink analysis. Now, thankfully, SEMrush makes this nice and easy. So all you'll need to do is come over to the tab underneath the keyword gap analysis, backlink gap analysis. Now, backlink gap analysis is an absolute must. Absolute, in my opinion, it's one of the most important things. Keyword gaps and backlink gaps. Where if anyone ever starting out in SEO says what matters the most, this stuff right here. This stuff right here. Because if you think about it like this, Google is trying to figure out who you are and what your medical clinic is. You might be saying you're a doctor, but are you really? In the eyes of Google, are you really a doctor? Because remember, the saying I'd like to think I've coined is you are what Google says you are. So you need to try and emulate what your competitors that are winning the keywords that you want to win are doing. Now, you do that by getting into the link graph. So as you can see here, you've got matches. Now, what does this mean? So this means the DNB is linking to my competitors, but not me. Donuts. Now, why is that important? Because my competitors have those links and I do not. So you would want to go through this list and ascertain what your competitors have and what you do not. Now, something to note, as you can see here, I'll pop this open because it's only 2 links. The thing that actually matters in SEO is the referring domains and not the backlink total. Okay, referring domains is a really important thing. You can see that DNB has linked off to these guys twice. There's 2 links there. So do you need to sit there and go, oh no, I need to get at least 4 links or at least 2 links to, no, just get 1. Just get that referring domain. So if we scroll down a little bit further, like you can see here, they've sent 10 links to these guys. Do you need to get the full 10 links? No, just try and get 1 of them. Now, when it comes to spammier links, because there will be some spammier links in here that your competitors have, nice little tip and trick is make sure you send those spammier links to that supportive content that I was talking about. Create a page that I call them burner pages. That is a page that if things start going wrong and it starts hurting our site, I can rip them away. It doesn't matter. They're just AI generated content, something that I don't care if it ever ranks or not, but it's to attract these links that aren't fantastic. But then if anything ever goes wrong, that's how you do it. So that's something to remember, okay? Very, very important. Have a burner page where you send your bad links to. So we've done that. Now let's go back to the checklist. Same thing, guys. Export it, throw it into there's a backlink gap tab down there, throw it into that. Now, review on Google. So what you want to do is grab your target keyword, grab that, go up to Google, and let's see where we are. Now, you can look at SEMrush, all these gap analysis, everything like that, as much as you want. But remember, this is the overall thing that you're targeting. So what I would do is enter your keyword into there and then just go back, grab your domain. So grab your domain and let's find out where exactly we're ranking for this keyword in Google. Always double check. Saying we're not even showing up. That's interesting. Let's remove all of this junk because that might be why. Yep, there it is. All right, so it's saying that we're in position 7 according to the counter. But is it actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So position 6. There we are. All right, in position 6. Now, you want to check this off with your tools. If your tools are saying that you're in position 28, and then you're in Google in this position, in position 6 here, well, what does that mean? It ultimately means that you need to go back and review in a different tool and in a different browser. So look incognito, do all of that type of stuff. Try to keep it away from it as much as possible. But Google does track your browser history, your IP address, all of that. They're tracking everything. So they are more likely going to display results that you've sort of clicked on and interacted before. So that is something to take note. But that is why you want to review that stuff on Google. So let me just document that, guys. All right. So now we need to review. The next thing that you would want to do, so is go through, we've reviewed it, is to review the core web vitals. So I'm just going to jot that one down too, review the core web vitals. Let me run you through that. Now, core web vitals, how important is it to you? 2018, Google came out and said, hey, speed is a ranking factor. But I'm telling you here and now, if your competitors' websites are not up to par and they're also failing the core web vital test, don't spend $3,000 to go out there and improve the speed of your site. It would be nice. And yeah, you might lose a few customers if your website's slow. But if your website's failing the core web vital test and your competitors are as well, create more content, get more backlinks. Done. Focus on that. Now, you can do the test. So the Google Core Web Vital page speed test right here, that's a link. It's a free tool, guys. It's Google's tool. It's like a direct link to it. But do not use it on your browser if your internet is slow or you have other important tabs open. It will crash everything. Google's performance tool doesn't perform. Just FYI. That's why I am not opening it. So it does matter, but how much does it matter? Now, Schema Validator. This to me, I place a lot of weight on Schema. I think Schema is quite important. So Schema Validator, essentially Schema, for anyone that doesn't know, is search engine language. And with doctors and medical practitioners, any type of medical practitioner, a lot of medical fields, dentists, that type of stuff, they have their own schema. So you're literally telling the search engine, hey, this is what I am, this is what I do, this is where I offer it. It's fantastic stuff. So it helps break through the noise. Now, the way you can test your schema is you can come over to the Schema Validator right here. And again, it's free, guys. It's completely free. So you can open that bad boy up. And then what you want to do is grab a competitor. So see what the competitors have. Because remember, with Google, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Don't try and be something new and creative. Because what's the point? Google is telling you, hey, do this and I will reward you. So that's why you want to follow it. So you throw your competitors into here, and let's see what's spat back. Should be organization, probably doctor schema, and only web page. Okay, interesting. All right, they don't have their schema on point, and they're still ranking number 1. And again, that's an important thing. So how important is schema for this location? It appears like it might not be. So that's what you get to ascertain. So the other additional information is not on there. So that's a good thing to note. So that's how you can check the schema. Excuse me, yawning a bit. All right. So let's document that. 15, and now let's review the citations. So let's do the citation component. All right, and then we'll jump into the technical SEO audit. So citations, are they as powerful as backlinks? No, they're not, but they still build trust. So if you're a local business, a local medical clinic, a local doctor, you need to have citations. Now, being a doctor, you will need to go after some even paid citations, unlike the local business, the local plumber, the local electrician. It is best that you go after a couple of the paid ones. But the way you can ascertain which ones you need to pay for and which ones you don't is by reviewing, again, your competitors. So you'll see this, what's known as a search operator right here. Grab this. So copy this. Now, I'm going to shut down SEMrush, guys, because we don't really need it anymore, to be completely honest. And let's throw it into here. Now, what we want to do, so we'll check our own citations. We want to grab the website. So the website, we'll go, oh no, we've lost it. We lost it. All right, might have to do that again. Copy this. Paste it in here. Hopefully Google doesn't drop it. Yeah, no, it didn't drop it. So you'll paste your website on site, and then we need the company name. Hence why the company is important. Now, this is a free way of doing it. All right. There are paid ways. You've got Bright Local, and you've got other types of things. Now, remember, these guys had 2 locations. So there'll be a lot of stuff that's showing up mainly for the main location. And that might be why this secondary location wasn't performing as well as the main location. So that is something that they would need to review. They need to come in there, review their citations, and check out, hey, are all the citations pointing to the main one? Because the Yelp looks like it's going there. Is this going to our one? I think it was 1441 or whatever it was. So that looks like, yeah, they might have a few additional locations. But as an example, if the Facebook page is actually going off to the 1 location compared to the 2 locations, or there's not 2 Facebook pages set up, that's going to hurt it. Because if you're Google and you see all of these things pointing to 1 location and they're not pointing to the second one, what one will you rank? So that's important to consider. So you can sit there and be like, all right, well, we have 77. Again, I haven't really checked it out crazily, but you would need to go in there and really go in depth with it. So there's 77. Now, if you do want to pay for it, Bright Local, link here, guys. It is affiliate link, but link there, click on that and get it done for you. But again, it's paid. If you have the money, pay for it. If you have the time, do it manually. So that's the first thing. Now you would want to review your competitors as well. So let's grab that. Let's paste this bad boy in here. And this is why it's important to know their name. So bang, bang. And place that there. Let's have a look. All right, they've got 85. That's interesting. There's pulling in their site. Ah, they've got a subdomain. That's interesting. Okay. And this is another good reason too, guys, because look at this. I've ascertained that they've set up a subdomain. Now, you would find that when you crawl when you crawl their sites and everything in detail. But what are they doing? Why have they set it up on a subdomain? All of these types of things start to play in, and you want to emulate what they're doing. So look at that. But as you can see, there's 85. So 85 citations for these guys. That's how you can review citations. All right, now let's perform a technical SEO audit on these guys. All right, so I'm just jumping across, documenting the time. All right, now for a technical SEO audit, let me just bring this up because I had already run this. Should be able, I hope you guys can see this. I can't see on the screen that it's seen, but so this is NetPeak Spider. Now, to do a technical audit, you can use a ton of different tools. You can use Screaming Frog. What's the other one? What was the other one? I think it's Light Bulb or Bulb Light. I can't remember. Bulb Light, like it's one of them. There's another one. I like this. I like the simplicity of this, to be completely honest. It goes into depth really well. Now, when it comes to this stuff, and this is why, because let's just say you are new or you're just trying to find the basic stuff. Here you go. With Screaming Frog, it's free, but it's an effort, and you do have to set it up the right way. So you can come in here and we can immediately see things that are wrong. So there's a couple of pages with duplicate H1s. So they've got the same H1s. We don't want that. Endless redirects, page rank dead ends. So there's some dead end pages on there. That's not great. Broken pages, definitely not great. Okay, so looks like categories. Yeah. So some Spanish pages might be going nowhere. Okay. And then warnings. So a big thing that I like, so like blocked. Why is some things blocked? We want to make sure that they're blocking. Okay. So the CDN. Okay. Email. So something maybe for their emails, the robots, they've blocked crawling this stuff. So crawling just basically some noise sort of stuff, like it looks like their membership sort of files. Yep, okay. So blocking additional things, and like even this max image size, saying these images are too big, long server response time, all of these types of things. Now, if you have like duplicate H1s, like I showed before in there, if you're missing H1s, it's going to show it all in here. Now, why is this important for you? Well, the main things that you need to focus on is the 404 errors, your broken pages. Like definitely, if you've got broken links, broken pages, guys, you have to fix that. Absolutely, because the spider's crawling along, and then it just stops. It drops off. It's gone. Keep that thing on your website. Keep it on your website. Let it crawl all of your website, then choose to go away, not be forced to go away. Very, very important. That to me is the reason why broken links and everything like that impact websites. So that's something that you want to have a look at. The duplicate H1s, that's not great. Like I would definitely be trying to figure out why. So this just might be the Spanish. So they've got ES there. So it might be the Spanish version of the site that they've got, and that's why they've done a duplicate. But maybe they've put the title in English. However it may be, further investigation is required. Duplicate descriptions, duplicate text. So there's a lot of duplicate text, a lot of duplicate descriptions. Not good. Not good at all. So these pages need to be 301 from the looks of it into the main pages. Yeah. And the other thing too, like to be completely honest, there'll be times when I'm sitting there going, what on earth is this error? What on earth is this? And I like that there talks about the type of error down the bottom. That was insanely helpful for me. It was, because there will be times when you're looking at a code and it just does not make any sense. You're like, no, this shouldn't exist. This is not real. Why is it saying this? And this helps. So that's the main thing there. So that's the technical analysis. You would want to go through and document all of this. Now, the way you can perform, like if you guys don't have NetPeak and you don't want to pay for NetPeak, like it's too expensive for you, jump over to Osborne Digital Marketing. Now it needs to be a real site, guys. Like you can't, I get literally like about 10 requests every day for SEO audits, but the guys go through and they actually have a look to see what a real request. Now on this page, might be running a little bit slow because of everything that I'm pumping through this. You'll see this page right here. So this will pop up. You can put in the medical clinic or the doctor's SEO and we will run that report for you and we'll give you a PDF printout that you can present. But again, it needs to be real. If it doesn't look real, if you're saying this and your email is this and all that, like we're not running the results. So enter the stuff in there if you want the net peak check done. But that's pretty much the technical side of it. So now that we've done that, you just jump back to the checklist. What else have we got to do? So citations done, technical done, install Google Analytics. All right, let's just document that. 1005. Sorry guys, like I said, I want to try and record this and take chapters down as I'm going along. So Google Search Console and Google Analytics, very important to have installed on your medical clinic's doctor's website because you can track that data. You can start to get keyword ideas that Google's pulling in for you that you might not even have pieces of content created for, because you'll be talking about, let's say, a type of procedure, and then Google will pick out a keyword and rank you for it. Well, they might really reward you for something and it might be a profitable keyword to go after. So you want to have a look at Google Search Console and figure all of that out. Very important. It's free. It's free. Install it. Now, the next thing would be picking your target keywords. So picking your target keywords, and let me, again, I apologize for this, but I have to do it. Oh, I ticked that off too early. So let's go back one. Improve website UX and speed. So let's say you were failing. The Spanish version. So let's just say you were failing Core Web Vitals. Let's say it wasn't great. Okay, you had to update the speed. That's when you're going to have to work with a developer or a company that does that type of stuff, like website upgrade services, that type of stuff. Now, the main thing that I like focusing on is contacts. Now, if you're a local medical clinic, if you're a local business, I can't stress enough having a call button. Now, depending upon your lead volume, again, I've worked with a plastic surgeon in the past and it got to the point where the phone was ringing off the hook and it was, I need to hire another receptionist because of these phone calls and I don't want to do that. Problem arises when that does happen. So don't sit there and stress. I have had medical professionals before say, Ron, I don't want to add a phone number there, or I don't want to keep the phone number up because it's ringing too much. Good problem to have, but the point is this may be a problem you face when you offer doctor SEO services. So what do? Still, if the phone isn't ringing a lot for that clinic, try to have a call button here. So don't have it all hidden away and where is it? Contact us. Like, nah, get rid of it. Shove a call button right here. Membership, learn more. I don't care. I want to get my treatment for the thing that's gone wrong with my foot. So you want to set all of that stuff up. You don't want to have it where it's not available to people. Like a lot of people might not know that it's down here. They might not have it on the contact page. So please, on every page, if you are any type of local, make sure that you have a call button available. Okay, so there needs to be a call button available. Now, you can see here that they do have the option to make an appointment. Fantastic. You can set that up. You can set all of that up, which is really, really good. Now, what do you want to do with that? That can go off to your Clinico. That can go off to any other booking platform that you may have when it comes to booking, but that's entirely up to you. Give people that option. That is a massive, massive thing that I would say to a lot of medical practitioners is that they don't really have that down pat. So now that we're in the hour mark writing out this thing, It's a little bit longer. There we go. All right. Now let's basically go through the final stages. So we've done all of that. Yep, cool bananas. Let's pick our target keywords. So what would you do from here? Now let's wrap it all up. So you've gone through, you've ascertained, you've worked, you've looked at your competitors, you've ascertained how you're performing against them. You need to nail this SEO service for a doctor's clinic. What do? First thing, and where you start, is the keywords that you're currently ranking for. Review that information with your client. So you would want to sit down with the doctor and say, okay, of these keywords that you're ranking for currently, do you really make a lot of money on this stuff? And they might go, emergency medical appointments, mate, that's a big earner for us. We make a lot of cash there. We want to rank really well for that. So as you can see, they're in position 3, but only 20 search volume. So would I go after that keyword a little bit more to try and get in position 1? Yeah. If the client sits there and says, we make money from that, and even though there's 20 searches, doesn't matter. That's still something that if you can capture half of that and get them 10 extra people in the door, that's enough. Don't always chase the biggest volume keywords because it's just not always worth it. So that's something that you want to remember. Pick the target keywords that benefit the doctor that you're working with. Do not create unnecessary keywords that are just going to waste both of your times. Your content's either there to support or to earn you dollars. That's it. It's not there to do anything else. So that's something that you need to consider. Now, another great thing that you'll want to do for picking target keywords and all of that, look at the gaps. Look at the backlink gaps and your keyword gap. That's where you can get a lot of ideas and inspiration from. So what I would suggest doing is at the start, so let's just say we've done everything, technical audit, we've done it all. Okay, there's some problems with the website we need to clean up. Month 1, generally the way I do it is month 1's your audits, your planning, your strategy, all of that. That all goes into month 1. Now, month 2 is where you start executing. So month 2 is essentially where I'd go through and go, okay, our Google business profile, we need reviews. Here's my tips and tricks. And again, I've created a video on how to get more Google reviews, created one of those videos, go and suss it out. But that's a great tip, a lot of tips and tricks in there specifically for this field. So you can go through and actually do that. Now, when it comes to month 2 as well, you've worked on the Google business profile, clean that bad boy up, but start creating that content and cleaning up your website. So it's better to build on a solid foundation than a shaky one. We all know that saying. So make sure that you go in and clean up the website structure. All of those pages, all of those things that need to be 301, all of those broken links, all of that needs to be fixed. Those dead end pages, gone. Get rid of the orphans. Things that are unnecessary, either time into something else or get rid of them. Get rid of them. That's what I would be doing with month 2. And then month 3 is just content backlinks, content backlinks, content backlinks. Review every 3 months your Google Search Console because you're going to keep getting ideas from there. Now, SEO takes time. So whenever you are doing SEO for doctors, they need to know it takes time and they need to know that they're in a very competitive niche. So it is something that takes time. It is something that takes money. I would honestly suggest never ever working for a medical clinic on less than $1,500 a month, because unless they're the only medical clinic in the town, you're going to be in a lot of pain trying to rank a business for anything under that. You won't make any money because you'll be putting all of it into the campaign. If you're in something like LA, get the checkbook out because it's required. To move those types of places will cost a lot more and it will take a lot longer. So whenever you're doing SEO services for doctors, ensure that you follow the basic principles of SEO. And I hope this video has helped you out. Now, if it has, make sure you like and subscribe and I'll see you around. Cheers, guys.